That's a great finish, and she has set her stall out early. Great finish. In true Ostapenko fashion, expect plenty of winners. Two-time finalist. Simple finish at the end.
There is a rapidly spreading, extremely embarrassing, and completely irrational psychological trend currently taking over the darkest, most unreasonable corners of the global tennis community online. And it is being heavily amplified by an incredibly passionate yet totally uninformed casual audience that simply refuses to mentally accept the harsh, unforgiving, and relentless reality of top-level professional sports. Welcome back to Please Plus Accurate at Unpourside, the #1 destination across the internet for raw, uncensored, and brutally honest insight into the cutthroat business, the intense locker room mindset, and the elite tactical mechanics of the WTA Tour. Today, we are forcefully bringing down the full weight of reality on one of the most ridiculous, logically impossible, and completely manufactured conspiracy theories ever seen in modern tennis. After the shocking, emotional breakdown of the Philippines' rising star Alexandra Aya against the aggressive 2017 French Open champion Jeļena Ostapenko at the Lindt Open, a huge, coordinated, and completely misguided online rumor has begun rapidly spreading. Major social media pages, fan communities, and clearly biased forums are actively insisting that the WTA is now reviewing the match, and that because of extreme crowd interference and supposed unsportsmanlike behavior, the round of 16 clash is somehow going to be replayed. Let's be absolutely, unmistakably, and clearly direct here. That rumor is pure, unfiltered, and completely ridiculous nonsense. There is absolutely 0% possibility, zero logical chance, and no official precedent for this match to ever be replayed. We are about to completely break down the outdated yet firmly enforced WTA rulebook. We will reveal the full truth behind Ostapenko's widely discussed spectator incident, and we are going to deliver a powerful, uncomfortable wake-up call to a fan base that is desperately hoping for a corporate intervention instead of demanding real athletic responsibility. Get ready, hit that subscribe button to support the only platform delivering the undeniable truth. Enable notifications, and let's thoroughly examine the full scope of the biggest fan illusion of the 2026 season. To truly understand the overwhelming scale of the absurdity behind these replay claims, you need to carefully study the strict, unyielding, and unforgiving regulatory structure of the Women's Tennis Association. Mainstream sports media often tries to chase easy attention by portraying the WTA as a flexible, compassionate organization that prioritizes the emotional well-being of emerging stars. But in the cold, the harsh, completely unforgiving truth of global sports business is this: the WTA functions within a strict, highly structured, and completely inflexible legal framework. In the entire multi-decade history of professional tennis, a completed match has never once been officially reversed, wiped from the records, or replayed simply because a player was distracted by the crowd or because an opponent got into a heated exchange with the chair umpire. Matches are not replayed due to shifts in momentum. Matches are not replayed because a loud, irritating fan in the front row shouted during a crucial second serve. The online fan community is creating exaggerated, fictional loopholes that simply do not exist in real professional tennis. Once the chair umpire declares game, set, match, and both players walk to the net for the handshake, the result is permanently locked into history. Jeļena Ostapenko won that match 6-4, 7-5. The points have already been awarded. The prize money has already been distributed. Ostapenko has already advanced to the quarterfinals. The idea that a billion-dollar organization like the WTA would stop a tightly scheduled global tournament to send two top players back onto the clay for a replay because social media is upset is pure fantasy. Now we need to break down the real tactical and psychological situation that sparked this massive wave of online outrage. The casual audience is pointing directly at the chaotic moment in the second set when Jeļena Ostapenko, staring at a daunting 5-1 deficit, got into a very public confrontation with a disruptive spectator in the Austrian crowd. Supporters of Alexandra Eala are strongly arguing that Ostapenko used that moment as an unofficial medical-style timeout, essentially creating a delay to cool off the rising Filipina star and completely disrupt her serving rhythm. They argue that this is clear evidence of illegal gamesmanship and therefore justifies a full match replay. But once you remove the emotional noise and examine the cold psychological structure of the sport, it becomes clear that Jeļena Ostapenko did nothing illegal. Raising concerns to the chair umpire about genuine crowd interference is fully within the rules for any professional player. The umpire acknowledged the situation, managed the disruption, and resumed play within official regulations. Was it chaotic? Absolutely. Was it frustrating for Alex Eala? Without question. But it was not a violation of any rule that could remotely justify replaying the match. Ostapenko simply identified a hostile external factor, brought it into focus, and used the interruption to reset her own mental state. This was not cheating. This was the brutal but legal reality of elite sport. And that brings us to the deeper truth most casual fans completely miss, the concept of elite psychological warfare. At the highest level of the WTA Tour, you are not just playing tennis by hitting a ball across a net. You are engaging in intense psychological combat. Veterans like Ostapenko have spent years learning how to control momentum in every possible way. They weaponize the environment. They weaponize crowd energy. They even weaponize the timing of breaks and emotional reactions to shift the rhythm of the match. Alexandra Eala was firmly in control, holding a 5-1 lead and dictating play with heavy left-handed spin from the Rafa Nadal Academy system. She had her opponent pinned deep behind the baseline. But the moment Ostapenko triggered that disruption, Eala's rhythm cracked. Her clean, automatic flow of play broke under pressure. The harsh truth is not that Ostapenko cheated or that the match should be replayed. The truth is that Eala failed to mentally survive the chaos. At this level, a true generational champion must be able to withstand that kind of psychological turbulence. She must possess a cold-blooded killer instinct that allows her to ignore the chaos on the other side of the net, walk straight to the service line, and close out the match with authority. Eala allowed outside, uncontrollable factors to seep into her biomechanics, which led to a disastrous collapse on her second serve and a series of broken service games that followed. The outcome was not decided by the rulebook, but by a breakdown in mental execution. And this brings us to the most dangerous and toxic part of these false replay narratives, the psychological harm they can cause to Alexandra Eala's long-term development as an athlete. When a passionate fan base surrounds a young 20-year-old player with constant excuses, they are not helping her, they are weakening her growth. If the online echo chamber convinces Eala and her team that she was robbed, that the match was unfair, or that she deserves a procedural reset, then they strip away responsibility, learning, and mental evolution. True champions are built through the painful reality of defeat, not protected from it. Eala needs to fully absorb what it means to lose a 5-1 lead against a Grand Slam-level opponent. She needs to feel that disappointment in its purest form. She needs to face the truth that under extreme pressure, her second serve broke down and her finishing instinct disappeared. Elite training systems like the Rafa Nadal Academy do not produce champions by encouraging excuses or online petitions for replayed matches. They don't build champions through excuses or by asking for replays. They build them by forcing athletes back onto the practice court, breaking down flawed mechanics, and putting in thousands of exhausting hours to construct a second serve that can withstand any pressure without collapsing. A victim mentality is the absolute enemy of greatness. And the fans pushing this replay narrative are not helping Alexandra Eala. They are turning a potential future star into a fragile athlete dependent on protection instead of growth. The reality is now final. The discussion is over. The match is done. There will be no replay, no intervention, no administrative reversal. The result stands permanently. The standards of professional tennis demand mental strength above everything else. And the young Filipina talent has just experienced one of the harshest lessons of her career. Winning at the highest level on European clay is not just about physical skill. It is about surviving extreme psychological pressure and chaos. Eala has now felt the intensity of a Grand Slam champion's comeback and will have to use that experience as fuel for improvement and future dominance. This moment has not ended her rise, it has tested it. And now the focus shifts from controversy to development, from debate to evolution. Stay tuned as we continue to follow and analyze the progression of this rising talent on the global stage.